You got dragonflies. Look at them. Whoa. It's nice out here. I had to stand up because there was like ants crawling on me. So I'm gonna sit somewhere where I know there's no ants, even though it's a beautiful day. And I don't think anything's gonna happen. I'm just gonna not get distracted and sit somewhere a little more basic. Okay. So, divine feminine as told by a divine masculine. No, I really do show up as divine masculine a lot in my life, so I feel like I can say that. There's a lot of cars that are going by, so let me try to get this out. Hopefully y'all can lock in with me. All right, so this is for whoever it pertains to. If you feel a different way about it, it's okay. Just drop a comment, whatever. But the divine feminine and divine masculine, we all have both of them in us, and they are both parts of our world and parts of our existence in a lot of ways. And most people understand the masculine because it's overt and it's right in front of our faces, but a lot of people don't understand the feminine in its entirety because it is more mysterious and it is more covert, and it's more of something that's like felt rather than seen in its nature. So let's see, as out here we have all of this beautiful nature, all this stuff that we can see and feast our eyes upon. Everything that we're seeing that you can see physically is more of the divine masculine side of existence. So if you can physically touch it, if you can physically interact with it, measure it, and so forth, this is an aspect of our existence that is the divine masculine, the thing that you can touch, the things that you can feel. It's the show, Yes, there are feminine energies that have form, you know what I mean? We all have a divine feminine in us, but the divine feminine is the unseen that's in between and under everything. So if you look at the soil, which you can't see, but everything that we see comes from the soil, which is unseen, there's a lot of things that, there's a lot of aspects of our reality that are unseen. Our thoughts, our feelings, vibes, trust, love, your future, your past, your baggage. All these things are huge factors on our life, and that those things exist due to the divine feminine, the things that you can't see that govern our world. There are natural seasons, there are natural occurrences, there's a order to things that's not seen but makes everything work, and that is the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the energy that's unseen, that's in between everything. We all have a life force within us that doesn't need to be charged up. We all have the spirit force, or whatever you want to call it, solar energy, all within us, and that's unseen. It's not something you can actually measure. And so when you have things like that, that's when you know that there's the divine feminine energy in there. The nature of the divine feminine is to be unseen. It's to be a mystery. That's its very nature is to be like undiscovered. Just like soil, you know what I mean? Like if you got like a fresh patch of soil and it's fertile, like that you can plant anything there and it'll grow and it'll bear seeds and you can grow it again, and it's like a floor, it's a room, it's like a place for abundance, to happen. And although the soil itself can be the home to many different seeds and can produce many different fruits, but it's the same soil, and that's where the divine feminine, the aspect of our reality, comes through as. And it has to be like unmarked, because that is its freedom, that is its nature. You can't plant something in something that already has like things planted there. So it's like the soil then becomes a part of that tree, or that plant after something's planted into it. But its very nature is for it to receive an energy and multiply that energy, exactly what the divine feminine does, just like how we have words on a paper, and we have the page, and the page itself is blank, but you need the page in order for there to be words, in order for there to be communication, in order for there to be a thought to be transferred. You need a page, you need a screen, you need a form, or like a place for that form to exist upon. So a lot of people look at words and look at letters, but they don't look at the page. And that's exactly how the divine feminine operates. The divine feminine is all around us, but a lot of people only care about the masculine because that's all they can perceive. That's all they've been trained to perceive. It's just the stuff that's already there, the stuff that's easy to see, Not everybody looks at the words, or that looks at the space between the words, People just look at the words on a page. Kind of like, what do you call it? Kung Fu Panda, when he gets the scroll and the scroll is blank. He's like, what is this? It's the same thing, It's like when you get to the end and you see the prize, and it's like, oh, you think there's nothing there, but like nothing is there. You know what I mean? Like, and the divine feminine is no thing. It's the unfettered, it's the unmarked, the untouched, the undiscovered. Even when you look at space, our whole planet, all the planets, the whole universe is held together through this dark void, this space, this great nothing, which is the divine feminine. But most people will only look at the stars and only look at the planets and think that all the in between is nothing, Just like when Terrence Howard discovered his new way of like unlocking the flower of life. He wasn't using the positive space, he was using the negative space, and figuring out, oh snap, with this negative space, there's so much more here than what meets the eye, because most people overlook the negative space. So that's kind of how the divine feminine, that is how the divine feminine works. And in its nature, it's supposed to be a mystery. And its nature is not, it doesn't want to be, it's not supposed to be known. Her mystery, it's like you have like history and you have mystery. History is like his, and the mystery is like miss. You know what I mean? So it's like we all look at man and history and male and this and that and and all the stuff we can measure and mark and time date and stuff like that. But the mystery, it's a mystery. That's literally what it is. It's supposed to be a mystery. It wouldn't be a mystery otherwise. And that's like her greatest strength. That's one of her greatest strengths, is that mystery. And that's why I like, a lot of it's more feminine to kind of not, tell people your age or not tell people your weight. It's kind of more of a feminine thing for them to kind of be able to have a little bit of that mystery or that allure, more so than, the masculine energy. So when you're dealing with like feminine nature, there's a part of it that's like that. It has to be a secret, when people are like, oh, secret societies and this and that and yeah, I'm sure some of that's true, but there's a part of mystery that's supposed to be kept a mystery. You know what I'm saying? So if you go around, if a woman tells you her weight and her age, and you go around like, oh, hey, y'all, I found out her weight, I found out her age. She's this old and she weighs this much. She's this old and she weighs this much. She's old and she weighs this much. She's not going to fuck with you no more. You know what I mean? Because you're telling people her secrets that she trusted within you. Even right now, with me, like, telling y'all this stuff, there's been a long time for me to, like, even, like, make videos. Because I'm like, yeah, should I tell people this stuff? Even though I know that in a video, some people it may click for, and some people, they may still not get it. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm just trying to help out in the ways that I know I can, especially as a male. If I can, kind of help with the healing as a male, and try to, healing for both men and women. Maybe it might heal some men and heal some women to hear from my perspective. So, but yeah, that's why there's a lot of women that kind of go unnoticed. They go a little like under the radar, I guess, in their contributions and stuff, even though they're like right in the mix and it wouldn't work without them, you know. But there's a lot of power within that. Like women have this like fluidity and flexibility to be anything. And the last thing I'm gonna talk about is like Eve, Adam and Eve, and how like the word Eve and Adam, I kind of look at them a little differently now, you know. Take it however you want, whatever, you know. I'm not here to change anyone's beliefs, but you know, I see Adam being like the masculine. Like it's the Adam, it's the actual like simplest, one of the simplest like forms of like physical like existence, you know what I mean? And so that's how I feel like the male energy is, you know, in its simplest form. It's like a point of reference, you know. And for the feminine energy, it's like Eve, and when I look at the word Eve and I look at other words that have the word Eve in it, they kind of reinforce what I'm saying and how I feel about it, or what I feel like has been revealed to me. So like when you look at the words like Eve, okay, ever, what does ever mean? It's like it's a word that has, it's kind of a subjective word, right? Ever, it's limitless, you know what I mean? Like what does ever mean? What does it entail? It entails everything that was before and everything that was after. Even the word everything, it's the same thing. It's an all-encompassing word, you know what I mean? And it's not a physical thing. Ever and everything are not physical things. And the word never, it's got the word Eve right in the middle of it. It's literally the opposite of that. It's the same energy. That's a very finite, very like all-encompassing word. It's a very powerful word. Ever and never say never, you know what I mean? It's like you're using, it's imbued with that. It's imbued with the same energy that Eve carries. The Eve is the great field, you know? It's the event. It's the great event, you know? It's the great level. The word level has Eve right in the middle of it. Like Eve is like the place for something to exist within the moment, you know what I mean? And anything can happen in an event. An event could be the littlest thing, like just saying hi to somebody as a stranger, or like getting married, you know, or like, you know, even the even is another one. Even is like the flat, even unfettered, you know what I mean? But even like, you know, Donald Trump, right? Like that whole assassination attempt, whatever. Even that is like an event, you know what I mean? And they can make that event into anything. 9/11 is an event, you know? An event can be the biggest thing or the littlest thing, but an event is a place for things to happen. Just like Eve, you know? The divine feminine is very much carrying that same energy along with it. I hope that makes sense, you know. I could break it down even further because there's a lot more to the divine feminine, even in the shapes and like the curves and everything. But yeah, there's a bunch of words with Eve in it that correlate in the same way. And the last thing I'll say is like, you know how like in nature, like you see a lot of things that are expressed in a multitude of ways. You know, nature will show you, oh look, a seahorse can be the example of a male like carrying a baby, you know, where like roles are switched. There's some fishes that like switch genders and stuff, and nature really has a way of like kind of being an experimentation of a bunch of different things and allowing it to work like actually, like biologically, you know what I mean? But one thing I'll say that I see in nature that I don't really like, one thing that I don't see in nature, I should say, or whatever, like you'll see different colonies of insects that have like queens, right? So you have like the queen bee or like the queen ant or whatever, but you don't really see the same thing with males. You don't see like an animal where like there's a male that gives birth to like a bunch of the whole colony. Like you have like the lions where there's like a king and he has his pride, and, you know, he has different females, but it's not the same way. It's not the same thing. Like they can actually have a different male come in, but when the queen dies, it's like the whole colony dies, you know? So a part of me feels like the divine, like the God, the the universe, there's a strong feminine aspect of the universe that I think may over encompass the male aspect. Who knows? Like, I don't know, but I do feel like it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. I do feel like, partially, I feel like the light is like the masculine. It's like what you can see. The darkness, feminine, like yin, yang, yang. And, you know, the unseen realms and the seen realms, you know? And so I do feel like the feminine energy could be behind like what we perceive as like the negative karma, you know? I think she may be responsible too for like, you know, punishment or, you know, correcting what doesn't fit, you know, like the entirety of everything, like love, you know, what doesn't fit the, like, you know, like her vision, I guess, you know. Yeah.